Right after the earthquake hit, I was sitting in my office at work, and I began to view the images on CNN on my computer, and my heart just began to break. And I felt the Lord prompt me that He wanted me to go to Haiti. And so, seeing that I had never done anything like this before, I had called Victoria at work to try to let her talk me out of it. And when I told her that I feel the Lord wants me to go to Haiti, she said, well, I think you should go. And I was very surprised at that answer. And then she said, the minute that the earthquake hit, I knew you were going. And 5 days after the earthquake hit, I found myself in the Dominican Republic making a 9-hour trip to the Haitian border to try to bring hope and healing to the people of Haiti.
I sensed it the entire time. I truly did. I sensed that the Lord was speaking to me to give him the encouragement and to probably speak through me to let him know he needed to go. I know my husband's heart, it's huge. And to see the devastation and knowing that, you know, one person can make a difference in one person's life. So, you know, if he chose him, then, you know, God was speaking to me to say, you know, he needs to go. And when he called and he told me, Victoria, I'm going to Haiti, I just knew I needed to reaffirm that to him. You're supposed to go. We knew we wanted to do this together. Was I ready? No. Because there was a lot of sacrificing. You know, you travel lightly. You can't take a blow dryer.
No blow dryer.
You know, you wear clothes the same day, a couple of days in a row, and it was like, and I was afraid. I was afraid of leaving the country. What was I going to encounter? You know, it was excuse after excuse. And when this last trip, they couldn't find a nurse, and he said, oh my God, we're not going to run clinic again for the Haitian people because we don't have a nurse. And, you know, he had a doctor lined up. And I truly do have to say what I kept hearing was a promise that I had made with God back in '94. And it was a promise when I was going to nursing school. And I said, Father God, help me through this nursing school, because nursing school was tough. And I said, you know, if you help me through nursing school, I promise to help those who need me. I promise to help the hurt. And so then I graduated from nursing school, and I worked, you know, running assistant, you know, living homes, working in the surgeon's office, working in the doctor's office. And I thought, you know, I was keeping my promise. And at that time, back in '94, when I had made that promise, I was not saved. And being saved now, born again, when he didn't have that nurse, that promise resurfaced. And I kept hearing, do you remember that promise you made? And I said to Arnold, all of a sudden I said, I need to fulfill that promise that I made to God back in '94 to come and help the hurting, come and help the poor, be your hands and feet. And all of a sudden I said, I will be your nurse. I will go. And he was like, what? I was like, I am going to be that nurse. And no nurse surfaced. And he was like, you know, we need to find a nurse. And I'm like, here's a nurse sitting next to him. And I was like, oh my God, do I have to go? And that promise just resurfaced over and over again. And it couldn't come more clear and clear. As the more I deny it, the stronger it got. You made a promise to me back in '94.
For me, I had gone on 3 trips, and I was severely, my life was changed forever. Right from the minute this whole thing started. And I know that when I came back, that I was a mess oftentimes, that I was affected in ways that I didn't know how to portray it. I was affected in ways that, I've heard it said that now that you've seen it, you feel responsible. And I felt responsible. And I've seen devastation and widespread poverty to the extent that I never imagined I'd see. I remember when I used to see a homeless person, or I used to see these commercials on late night TV about sponsoring a child, I would look the other way. I would change the channel because I didn't want to face that. And now that I lived it and I identified with these people in Haiti, the poor, the broken, the underprivileged, and the Lord, led me to the verse Isaiah 1:17, about serving the underprivileged, about serving the widow, taking care of the orphan. And I always tried to portray to her, but I didn't feel that she understood. And for me, it was, she's gonna understand what I feel when I come back. And I think that it just made a connection for us that it was kind of missing. The joy that I felt when I saw her with her first patient, the joy I saw in her face when she was serving the people, I don't know that I've ever seen her happier. And it just brought so much joy to my heart that we were able to do this together. I told her so many stories about this little boy, Sunda Kali. He was a boy who got one of the book bags that that you guys so graciously provided for us. That right after the earthquake, folks had nothing to eat. And we were walking down the street one day, and this little boy held my hand everywhere I went. And Pastor bought a box of bread off of this lady, and he went around and was handing the people the bread. And he gave this little boy the piece of bread, and he doesn't know when his next meal is coming from. And he came running across the street, and he said, "Here." And he had a gift for me, and it was the piece of bread. And it just broke me that a child who doesn't know when he's gonna eat again, somebody gives him something to eat, and he offered it to me. And I always told her that story. And she got to meet him the very first day that we were there, because for some reason, whenever I come back to town, they somehow have a way of knowing I'm there, and they come for a visit, and the connection was made, to the story. It was just kind of, and serving with her, I think we've been married for, it's going to be 28 years. And I just think that we've now even gone to a level that I didn't know that was possible. The children are the future of Haiti. When we were running clinic in Emmanuel Boys Center, there's 28 boys, and Dr. Claudia asked every little boy, "What would you like me to go home and tell my family about Haiti?" And the child was about 9 or 10 years old, and he looked at her and he said, "Nothing." And she says, "What do you mean nothing?" He goes, "I want to tell my family something. What should I tell them?" And he looked at her and he said, "Tell your family Haiti is broken." And she said, "It's broken?" And she said, "No, I want to tell them something good about Haiti." And he said, "There is nothing good about Haiti." And I want to instill the belief in these children that there is something good about Haiti, and the good is them. And I believe that we can raise up a child to change that country. I believe that if we instill in the children of Haiti the ways of the Lord, that we can raise up a generation that could change that land, that could win that land back for the Lord. There's voodoo throughout the land, and people are turning to whatever they can to try to make ends meet, and I believe that there is a child in Haiti right now who is going to become a great leader of that nation. And he may live in our orphanage, he may not. But I do believe that if we instill in the children that we can make a difference.
And I think what really touched my heart was when there was a girl there who was not of the orphanage there, because it was an orphanage for boys. It was a higher help, a sister who was all the way at the corner, washing all the boys' clothes by hand and rinsing them by bucket. And pastor said to us, there's a little girl over there, maybe you want to give her that book bag. And I said, okay, I'll go over and give her a book bag. And to give her that book bag, to see the joy was like, you could have given her like 10 gifts. And there was just a book bag with amazing supplies, but the smile was amazing, the joy. These kids took their book bags, and as I was doing blood pressures and their temperatures, their book bags were on them, and I'm doing their blood pressures, and they didn't release those book bags for anything. The book bag had blankets, notebooks, pencils, pens, crayons, rulers, paint, lotions, vitamins, a toy. Just amazing. It was amazing. And it was amazing delivering those book bags to those children. And we even had one of the older young boys who helped run the orphanage was waiting for his. And I'm thinking, you're like 18 years old. But we gave him a book bag, and he had that book bag on for the hours we were there. Like it was the most precious thing he's ever received.
Right. There's a story on the television today about the Uganda baseball team. It was the first team from Africa ever to make it to the Little League World Series. And they went to the embassy to get their visas, and their visas were denied. And all of the hope was yanked from under these children. And my heart broke, and I said to Victoria, you have to watch this story. I said, it's so heartbreaking. And then the question raised in my mind about the youth here. And, there's as much of a need here. And Pastor Marilyn, you sent this 10 things about the church. And the third one said that we need to pay attention to the children's ministry, because in that children's ministry is a great leader who's going to rock the world, who's going to change this place. And I thought to myself, wow, I really need to take a look at this. I really need to take a look at the youth here, because we can speak into their life. And when I arrived here this evening, you had all the children here. And so many of them, came over and jumped in my lap and were just so joyful and just, they wanted to spend time. And for children in general, the Lord is just softening my heart towards raising up a child in the way that he should go.
It's humbling. It's
humbling to know that the Lord could use someone like Victoria, someone like I, to do his work. Mm-hmm. But the bottom line is there's no plan B. We're the ones that the Lord has sent here. I'm not saying Victoria and I specifically, I'm saying us, to teach the people about who the Lord is and about his ways. His great commission is make disciples of all nations. And that includes the children here, the children of the world. And that's where it starts. That's where it starts, is with the children, and to raise them up. And so that, raise them up, and when they're older, they won't depart from it, is what the word says. And it's humbling to be able to have an opportunity to be a part of that, to be able to speak into a child's life. It's humbling. I don't know any other way to put it.
They're the most precious gift that's given to you. Guide them the right way, and and pray over them, intercede for them when they need for you to pray over them. And I'm learning with seeing the children as my children are older, looking into the little children's lives and being able to minister into them. But I'm like, lead them the right way, and God comes along and continues to guide them. That is important. To know Christ has been the best thing in my life. and to have had him through while my children were growing up would have been much more amazing. You know, we have been saved for about 11 years, 12 years, and our marriage has been the best. And to have been able to have that when we first were married and have the kids and be able to raise them in that would have been just magnificent. So what I say is, you know, if you're with Christ and you raise your child Christ-like, there's nothing can go wrong. He's beside you. I would say that if you're looking to serve abroad or here, just listen to what the Holy Spirit has to tell you. Listen to what God is pouring into your life so you're able to pour out. And with God alongside of you, you are able to do anything. All things are possible with Christ.
If you're waiting until you're ready, you'll never be ready. I've heard it said that God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. And if the Lord is putting it on your heart, and if you try to do it on your own strength, you won't be able to accomplish it. But with the Lord, you will be able to make the difference in the life of a child, here or abroad.